I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a remarkable man who played a crucial role in the fight for civil rights in the United States during the mid-20th century. Born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia, King grew up in a society where racial segregation and discrimination were deeply entrenched. Despite facing adversity, he emerged as a leader of the American civil rights movement, advocating for justice, equality, and peace through nonviolent means. King's childhood was marked by the harsh realities of racial segregation. In the southern United States, where he spent his early years, Jim Crow laws enforced racial separation, keeping black and white people apart in schools, restaurants, buses, and other public places. These unjust laws deeply affected King and his family, shaping his early understanding of inequality. As a young boy, King was curious and had a thirst for knowledge. He excelled in school, skipping 2 grades and entering Morehouse College in Atlanta at the age of 15. While at Morehouse, he was exposed to different ideas and philosophies, including the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, a leader in India who advocated for nonviolent resistance against injustice. These ideas would later influence King's approach to activism. After completing his studies at Morehouse, King went on to pursue a Ph.D. in theology at Boston University. During this time, he further developed his intellectual and moral foundations. In Boston, he met and married Coretta Scott, who would become a vital supporter in his mission for civil rights. King's education and personal experiences equipped him with the tools to challenge the deeply ingrained racism prevalent in the United States. King's involvement in the civil rights movement gained prominence when he led the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. This protest was sparked by the arrest of Rosa Parks, an African-American woman who refused to give up her bus seat to a white person. The boycott, organized by the Montgomery Improvement Association, marked the beginning of King's commitment to nonviolent resistance and civil disobedience. The success of the Montgomery bus boycott propelled King into the national spotlight. He, along with other civil rights leaders, founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, in 1957, aiming to mobilize African Americans and allies in the struggle against racial segregation. King's commitment to nonviolence and his eloquent speeches, often inspired by his Christian beliefs, made him a powerful and influential figure in the movement. One of King's most iconic moments occurred on August 28, 1963, when he delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Standing in front of the Lincoln Memorial, King passionately articulated his vision for a future where individuals would not be judged by the color of their skin but by the content of their character. The speech remains a powerful testament to King's dream of a racially inclusive and harmonious America. Despite making significant strides, the civil rights movement faced fierce opposition, leading to acts of violence against activists. King himself was arrested multiple times, and his commitment to nonviolence was tested in the face of brutality. However, he remained resolute, emphasizing that love and understanding could conquer hatred. The landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, marked a major victory for the movement. King, however, knew that the struggle was far from over. He shifted his focus to address economic inequality and the need for jobs and freedom for all Americans, regardless of their racial background. In 1965, King led a campaign in Selma, Alabama, advocating for the right to vote for African Americans. The peaceful march from Selma to Montgomery was met with violent opposition, including the infamous Bloody Sunday, when marchers were brutally attacked by law enforcement. These events brought national attention to the need for voting rights legislation, ultimately resulting in the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. King's tireless efforts were not without personal sacrifice. He faced constant threats, and the burden of leadership weighed heavily on him. Yet, he continued his work, driven by a deep sense of moral duty in the belief that America could become a nation where justice and equality prevailed. In the latter years of his life, King expanded his focus to address economic injustice and the Vietnam War. He spoke out against the war, drawing connections between the struggles for civil rights at home and the injustices abroad. This expanded perspective widened King's impact, inspiring people around the world. Tragically, Martin Luther King Jr.'s life was cut short on April 4, 1968, when he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. His death was a profound loss, but his legacy endured. King's contributions to the civil rights movement earned him the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964, making him the youngest recipient at the time. His teachings and philosophy of nonviolence continued to influence subsequent generations of activists. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of a just and equitable society remains relevant today. His life serves as a reminder that one person, fueled by compassion and guided by principles of justice, can make an enduring impact on the world. As the struggle for civil rights and equality continues, King's legacy endures as a beacon of hope and a call to action for generations to come.